Yoon Suk-yeol, 13th and current president of South Korea, exempted from military service. Son Heung-min, professional footballer, served in military for 3 weeks, exempted from the 21-month military service. J.Y. Lee, vice chairman of Samsung Electronics, exempted from military service. Military service has existed since 1957, involving different kinds of service to the nation. It is a compulsory requirement to all Korean men between the ages 18 and 35. If mandatory, then why the 3 men mentioned were exempted, while the members of the biggest boy band in the planet today were not? Perhaps you're asking, what do they have in common? But the more appropriate question would be, what do they have differently from each other? Yoon Suk-yeol, the president of South Korea, has a health issue during his supposed enlistment, anisometropia in particular, a condition where the refractive error differs between 2 eyes. Although it can be easily treated through surgery today, it's a different case 40 years ago. Despite of that, one can argue that he can still do other form of services if he really wanted to. Especially for a man who proudly talks about enlistment. For reference, Suga, the band's rapper and producer, have had a shoulder surgery in 2020. The injury could have been easily used as a reason for military service exemption.
Kim Min-son scores wonderfully to make it 4-0.
On the other hand, Son Heung-min's exemption was rather undebatable. Exemptions can also be granted to those with exceptional skills, including global award-winning athletes and musicians recommended by the Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism. Son earned his exemption after winning gold in the Asian Games and receiving the highest order of sports merit. Having said that, BTS has also received an Order of Cultural Merit in 2018, making them the youngest recipients. But what would make up for their lack of gold medal? If not their BBMA, AMA, and MTV awards. Not even their appointment as special presidential envoys. Furthermore, there are 194 South Korean athletes who have won a gold medal in Olympics alone. It overwhelmingly outweighs the number of Grammy-nominated Korean artists, which is only 5, including BTS. Taking this into account, does it not make this achievement as equally, if not more challenging as compared to winning a gold medal? It seems like the government has considered all the possibilities and neglected the impossible, which BTS is realizing now. Then, we have the vice chairman of Samsung Electronics, J.Y. Lee. He was exempted because of an unknown illness. I did my best to find what kind of illness he was diagnosed with, in order to receive the military exemption. Unfortunately, it is not available on the internet because it is flooded by his criminal convictions history. In 2017, he was accused of embezzlement, perjury and was charged with bribing the 11th president, Park Geun-hye. This is somehow misaligned to the topic of military service, but stick with me to hear my point. To cut long story short, he was arrested and was supposed to be sentenced for 5 years, but he was released only after 1 year of detention. Then, he was released on parole on August 2021 after the United States Chamber of Commerce argued that Lee can help to end American dependence on computer chips amid the global chip shortage. And just this August of the present year, President Yoon Suk-yeol, the current president, granted a pardon to Lee, citing Samsung's importance to the economy. Therefore, if a proven guilty criminal can be released from guilt and be exempted for punishment solely because of what is believed to be his immense impact to the economy, how come BTS did not gain any benefit for doing the same thing minus the crimes?
It is a great honor to be invited to the White House today to discuss the important issues of anti-Asian hate crimes, Asian inclusion, and diversity.
BTS impact to the economy is comparable to Korean Air, the flagship airline of the country, whose percent contribution to South Korea's GDP is 0.7%, and this data was 3 years ago. Then, their Billboard Hot 100 #1 single Dynamite generated more than $1.4 billion and nearly 8,000 new jobs. And just recently, their concert for Busan's World Expo drew in an estimated $524 million and 100,000 domestic and international visitors to Busan. And if the bid is won by South Korea, it could draw about 50 million visitors, creating 500,000 jobs and generating more than $40 billion worth of economic value, thanks to BTS. The government does move in mysterious ways. It does not show partiality, it hides it.
병역은 당연한 의무라고 생각을 하고 있고 나라의 부름이 있으면 언제든지 응할 예정입니다.
BTS has always been so careful whenever the topic of military enlistment is brought up, while the media appears to have nothing else to talk about, delving to this issue every 2 business days. BTS themselves treated it like louder than bombs. They know the public will not be satisfied no matter what they say, as they always find themselves in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. However, on October 17th, BTS breaks the silence. Big Hit Music, BTS company, released an official announcement, confirming BTS to fulfill mandatory military enlistment service. Aside from helping Busan win bid to organize World Expo 2030, this was also the government's way to assess BTS impact to make decision regarding their military enlistment. This is a power move because BTS has put up with way too many double standards. It is their way of saying how tired they are being toyed with and dancing on a thin ice. Hence, they took matters in their own hands. It also appears that the government was not informed about this decision and were stunned to say the least, because later that day, the official Twitter account of the Blue House went private. A day after, the Ministry of Defense responded to the announcement stating, if it is for public service to the nation, or for national events or performances which benefit the nation, BTS will be given the opportunity to participate in performances and activities should they wish. Some may deem this as generosity, while the other half as exploitation. It boils down on who will be the attendees. If it is the armies, then it will give BTS opportunity to perform and see their fans, but if it is the politicians, dignitaries and their families, entertaining these officials could just be an extra work. Between the two, one thing's for sure, the benefits will be to the government. So, is the military service system fair or corrupt, or it only needs improvement? Let me know what you think in the comment section below.